Hey everyone, real quick before we get into it, don't forget to
like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Check out the podcast on Podbean. We're on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcast, and Google Play.
And with all that said and done, let's get to it.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to episode 123 of the Hella Average Gamescast. I am joined today by the one and only Carmen Tresenti. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? Good morning.
We are recording on a Sunday morning, which is very different than what we usually do. We usually record late in the evening or at night, so we're hitting it in the morning this Sunday. Get some video games in, get some football in today, so it's going to be a good Sunday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But we haven't heard your voice in a while, Carmen, so why don't you enlighten the world on what you've been playing and what's been going on as far as your hobbies are concerned in the gaming industry?
All right. I've been playing a lot of Tetris 99. So I'm like dying to get a win. I've been grinding like crazy. I've had multiple top 5 finishes. And I end up just getting clapped at the end. And it is killing me, man. Absolutely killing me. And then I've been grinding Borderlands.
Yes, it's tough, man. Now, Borderlands, that's what I'm anxious to hear about.
Yeah, no, the Tetris 99 grind is so fucking hard. It's you lose at 96 and then you get a top 10 finish the next time around. So it's like very inconsistent. So I'll just keep going. I keep charging my Switch, pull it off the dock, hang out with it for an hour, put it back. But yeah, Borderlands, boy, whoo, that's a solid game.
It's been one of the games that's hooked us more than any other game has recently.
Oh yeah, no, like I think I already have like almost 3 days of playtime, so I'm like looking at almost 72 hours of playing this game.
Nice.
And I mean that's like rivaling times on Destiny in terms of the span that I've had the game and how much I've played. I was glad that they implemented that feature where you could skip missions because it's like I got to a certain point and then I got to skip all the way to the end because me and you had been grinding out pretty well.
Yeah, I like the way they do that system.
Yeah, that system's good, but there's some other things they need to change about the game, like skipping cutscenes, optimizing servers, etc., etc. But overall, I'm happy with that grind. I'm working on a build. I'm like perusing YouTube constantly, trying to see what would fit me better, and then I'm just going to start stocking up on gear and stuff and maybe try to put my own build together and see how that works.
You're going to venture out on your own, not listen to the internet. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not hard to figure out.
No,
if you want to do a lot of splash damage and incendiary damage, you spec into those skills and you find gear that meets that criteria.
What else? Anything else, or those have been your 2 main games?
That's it. That's all I've been playing.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on Borderlands. It's been pretty much the only thing I've been playing. We got to the end game together. Now we're just doing some grinding, get some gear. I'm running the normal flak build, the crit build that everybody runs. And once I get some enough gear together, I'm going to just start messing around with it and see what else is out there just to have some fun. And I might even eventually rock a new character. So it's a fun game. I like it a lot. Technically, we beat the campaign twice. So, it's been a long time since I've done that and got that hooked on a game. Probably play it later today, so you know how that goes.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that there'll be a third run through of the campaign.
Oh,
at
absolutely.
some point they'll extend past True Vault Hunter mode.
But I agree. One of the things we were talking about, one of the things that you got to expect with this game is there's some really bad UI situations, and when you try to go into the menu, it damn near freezes the whole game, and split screen's atrocious. So they need to start focusing on that rather than tweaking these guns every single week, because what'll happen is that I'll start getting a build together and then they tweak it and nerf a gun I'm going for. So like start worrying about the bones of the game more so than the weapons right now.
Yeah, like the game like it'll live on. Like you have room to make these nerfs and buff up guns and change like health on bosses and so on and so forth. But if the bones aren't going to get fixed, then, I mean, we're going to end up running into a problem where people just aren't going to want to deal with it.
I agree. So that's going to be my grind for a while. Killer Queen Black came out. If you don't know what that is, just go look it up. It is one of the most fun games I've ever had the chance of playing. Got to play it in an actual arcade with other people. Those still exist. So it's coming out. I'm excited. I'm probably going to pick that up eventually. And then we got Death Stranding coming out, so that's going to be on the horizon. We'll be able to talk about those.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm so looking forward to that game.
I am too, even though I have no idea what it is.
That's the best part.
All right, Carm, I know you've been going for a while, but do you remember what comes after we talk about what we've been playing? Do you know what's about to happen?
I'm pretty sure everybody's going to send me a lot of money on Venmo. I'll leave the link in the description below, but I think it's time for some
news.
He still remembered, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it going, and let's kick it off with some Stadia news. I'm kind of go. We didn't have a way. There's a lot of random news going, so it's kind of hard for me to order it. So it's going to seem like we're kind of scattered today, but it's just a bunch of random stuff. So we'll go ahead and get a lot of it knocked out. But let's kick it off with Stadia, because one of the main things that we were told and we were shown during like E3 and their Stadia directs was this controller. Their Google controller is wireless. It's not hooking up via Bluetooth. And they showed it going from a tablet to a phone to a laptop, etc. But Stadia announced, or Google announced, that it's not going to be fully wireless at launch. It's only going to be wireless if you have the Chromecast. So they're going to implement the wireless on the rest of the devices later. So what do you think about that, Carmen?
I think it's a huge misstep, but I also understand that it's not a Bluetooth controller. I'm sure it probably has Bluetooth capabilities, but essentially it's a Wi-Fi controller. So I don't necessarily understand all the logistics that go into it, but to me this is a misstep, and to promise that these features would be available, that you would be able to do all these things with it, and then to not be able to do that at first really diminishes the fact. It takes away from the people that aren't getting the Founders Edition or that don't own Chromecasts and didn't plan on owning those.
And another thing, and I don't know if this is still the case, I heard this a while back, a couple months back, but the controller only works with the Chromecast Ultimate or Pro, whichever one they're giving you, the newest one.
Yeah, that one that's going to be 4K.
Yeah, I don't think it works with the past Chromecast. I mean, you can still connect it however you would connect it normally, but like with other controllers, but I don't think the Google controller works with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't see that, but I do know that they're limiting its usage out of the gate, and then I just don't want to have to like purchase all these like dongles for every device that I own,
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like I don't like a USB-C cable like is fine for my like PC. It would be fine if I owned an Android phone, but it doesn't cut it for me. Like with like having to think about like if I want to play on my new iPhone, which has a phenomenal screen, I gotta like buy an adapter, and then I gotta do all these things. Like I don't like jumping through hoops to play my video games.
I don't either, and that's the one thing that really sticks out of being a problem is the phone issue. So if you're going to be gaming on your phone, which I understand a lot of people may not be using a controller on their phone, but you don't want to have to buy like you're an Android or an iPhone user, you don't want to have to buy a Lightning to USB-C. I didn't even know they were made. I had to Google to see if they made those connections, which they do, but still, and everything with Apple's proprietary, so it's expensive, honestly.
Oh yeah, no, it's super expensive.
So that's kind of a miss. I agree. I wouldn't be so miffed about it if they didn't show it to us. Like they didn't show it to us on stage, working so flawlessly.
Yeah, they could have like wrapped it up in like all the mumbo jumbo they gave us. That was like, well, this is what we're gonna do on launch day, and so on and so forth. When they were giving details, like this is what is going to be available. Like they should have just told us right out of the gate. The controller is only going to be wireless when using Chromecast, and then in future updates, boom. And then
I didn't mean to cut you off, but have they announced on like phones and tablets, is there going to be a virtual controller?
I'm not sure. I hope not. I honestly hope not.
So you'll be able to just hook up your whatever Bluetooth controllers you have to it, I guess.
Yeah, you should. I mean, you can pair your DS4s right to it.
Yeah,
I've done it because I was trying to do it on the Call of Duty mobile game, but they nixed controller support.
Of course they did, because that's cheating. you
Yeah,
got a 12-year-old up there trying to flick a on-screen controller, and you're over there with the 100 sensitivity DS4 rocking people.
Oh yeah, dude. If I had a controller in that game, I'd probably get 30 kills every game. But I digress. Oh, so yeah, like they could have wrapped it up in mumbo jumbo, and I think I would have been okay. I would have questioned it, but I would have been okay with it.
I agree. So it's a little bit of a misstep. I'm still excited for it. It's coming out in less than a month. We're going to have it in our hands November 19th, I believe. And we should be on the lookout for our email soon to pick our Stadia username. So that's going to be fun. We'll have Destiny starting off, and then I'll probably get another random game to try out, something I've been wanting to try. So
yeah, dude, I'm excited. And then maybe we can kick back off Not a Box podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't recorded much lately because there hasn't been a whole lot. This was
the biggest news that's come out in recent days.
It doesn't really warrant an entire, even a short episode. So,
yeah, no.
That's where we're at with Stadia. We'll keep an eye out, and obviously, once we get in our hands, we'll give you a hands-on impression of what we think about it. So let's keep rocking and rolling. Let's talk about the NPD for September, because there was some pretty cool news that came out. Nothing too shocking. So, you have probably the two big best-selling games. Were obviously NBA 2K20, Borderlands. Those two are going to be a one-hit, 1-2 for a little while probably. FIFA 20 came in right under that. And then to round out the top 5, you had Link's Awakening, the remake, and then Madden 20.
So like all the usuals.
Yeah, no real surprise there. Grand Theft Auto, of course, is still in the top 20. They're at number 12.
So they're falling back on sales, but I mean, that's still impressive.
I was very impressive for something so old.
Yeah.
And Minecraft's still in there, number 11. So
there you go.
The two staples that we see all the time. They did some pretty cool comparisons from September of last year to September of this year. So total video game sales last year this time was 1.396 billion. This year is 1.278 billion. So we're down 8% overall sales. Video game hardware, we're down about 22% from 307 million to 240.
I can see that though.
Yeah, because there's the only thing really selling at this point will probably be the Switch.
Yeah, like we're winding down.
For PC, we're looking at down 4%, 761 million to 732 million, and for accessories, we're down 7%, 328 to 308. So no surprise, we're coming to the end. These numbers will go back up coming into holiday for sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Especially on the hardware front and the accessory front. So far, the top 10 best-selling games for 2019 overall. We'll go ahead and go through the top 10. NBA 2K20, Mortal Kombat 11, Borderlands 3, Madden 20, Kingdom Hearts 3, The Division 2, Anthem, Super Smash Bros., Resident Evil 2, and Grand Theft Auto 5.
I can't say I'm surprised at any of that.
I'm not either. Nothing on here is like, oh, really?
Like, damn, that really sold all those copies. No, like, those are, like, staples.
And if you look and break it down by console, those are the games that are in the top on every console. Like, even with the only thing that differs is the Switch because of all their first parties. But, like, PlayStation 4, the only thing that's thrown in there is Spider-Man. So that's kind of the list across the board. On every console, that's basically your top 10 list. So it's pretty cool. And the 3DS is still coming in strong. So last thing we'll end, and no surprise here, the Switch was the best-selling console.
It's like, I mean, it's the only one that's, like, printing units regularly at this point. Like, I'm sure, there's a high demand. And the factory's like, damn, like, can we announce the next one, please?
I will say that I saw, it's not on this article that I'm looking at now. This was on VentureBeat. I was looking at the NPD. But I saw another one but when I was kind of looking at it the first time around.
Yeah.
And the percentage of sales for Nintendo is up this year, this time, compared to last year, this time. So that last September to this September, they're selling more units. So the trend is still going up.
Yeah, no, they've just continued to build steam.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. Pick up a Switch.
Yes. All right, side topic real quick.
Yep, go for it.
Do you think that Nintendo, like, what's the time frame that Nintendo needs to announce their next console?
I don't think they need to announce a new console till holiday next year.
So you think that they announce it, like they possibly announce it at E3 with a 2021 launch?
Yeah, they call it the Pro. Now, I
Or
at
you
first
think
I
it's
thought,
they're gonna go Pro? Okay.
yeah. At first, I thought that they would get it out sooner, but it would make sense for them to maybe a little bit earlier than December, but hit E3, say, here's the Switch Pro, here's the specs for that, and then make it, whatever side, make it as heavy as you can and as hefty as you can, and then sell it next, for holiday of next year. I don't see why it's going to have the chops to compete with the other two big boys, so just throw them in there.
So yeah, I fear that they miss their step in not having a new console ready, and that they end up getting like beat down by the pressure of two heavy hitting consoles. I don't think the Switch in its current state will compete with next gen as heavily, like in terms of what it can do and what it can do for the games.
I agree with that.
No, sales-wise, I don't think the Switch will fall off. This is like the Wii. Like, this thing will sell and sell and sell. I'm surprised that they're not sold out in stores constantly.
Here's my thing, and it really depends. Nintendo, I think, the way they capture their audience is their software. Like, people know what they're getting with the Switch. They're not buying the next-gen graphics and ray tracing, things like that.
Yeah, no.
They're buying Nintendo products, and that's what keeps them in the game. That's why their sales are so good. So, if you let's say hypothetically, you throw out a Switch, we already have one that's totally portable. Let's say that they give a complete home console Switch, give it the same specs that could run a PS4 game, like a launch PS4 or launch Xbox One game, and then you could make heavier games for it, and I think it would sell.
That's true. I can see that.
Now, if they were, I think in a perfect world, if they could do it, if they could give us a good Pro iteration and drop it middle of next year before it gets cluttered with the Xbox and PS5, then they could make a lot of money in that depression between the end of this gen and the launch of the next gen.
Yeah, and then if they could like have a game optimized for it, like at launch, like basically treat it as a launch title, I think that would be very successful.
Would be a good one.
Yeah, for real, that would be phenomenal.
But yeah, I do think they're going to launch a Pro version, and then we'll get some other iterations of the Switch. I think the Switch is here for a while.
That's scary.
So, Nintendo, they hit a stride with this one.
Oh, for sure. No, they're killing it.
Of the likes, and you compared it just like the Wii. It's selling like the Wii did. So that's cool. I'm glad you asked that question. Really good to think about. And it's cool because we already know Nintendo's making a Pro version, so we just don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some gaming in. We're going to talk about some gaming news instead of some statistics, because we all love statistics around here. Star Wars. The Fallen Order has officially gone gold. It is being pressed. I'm excited for this game. I don't know if I'm going to play it at launch, but I'm definitely going to get my hands on it.
Yeah, it looked good. The trailers looked really good. I'm in the camp that like I've watched their audience get burned on video games far too much in the past few years, that it's hard to be like, yes, I'm going to dive into this on day one.
I got you. I could see that being gunshot because you're not really necessarily a Star Wars fan, but you've got like us, me, not Jeremy's not necessarily a Star Wars fan, and other people who have been burned, like you said, like where Battlefront 2 itself wasn't a bad game. It was very nice looking and it was solid shooting, but there was no content, right? And nothing but loot boxes.
Yeah, so it's like they got to do it right. They need to limit their interaction with pressing people for real world money. They need to just allow you to have a good experience, and then like if you want to throw some cosmetic-y things in there, like just don't shove them down people's throats in terms of micros, and you will be A-okay.
Yes, I agree. And one of the things that this has got going for us is that it's Metroidvania style game, or Metroid style game. So you got to go to certain places, unlock new powers to progress the game. So that's going to have, if they do the story right, it could have a lot of potential.
Yeah, no, it could be super robust. But if you turn the game on and it's like for $19.99 you can unlock all the powers, that's going to piss me off. It's going to bother me.
Not just you, a lot of people.
Yeah, because it's like I don't want that. I don't want to succeed off of a dollar amount in this game.
Well, Jeremy and I talked about it one of the weeks that you were here watching the game. It was like eventually they're going to release games and say for $60 more you can just beat the campaign and go straight to the end.
Oh, I mean,
Why?
no doubt.
What's the point?
There is no point, but I mean, you see, but it like that type of stuff like kind of exists more like in long-standing MMOs. Like if they're not willing to just give you the levels, like say like World of Warcraft will just give you the levels now. If you're playing in the like the proper version, if you're playing like the OG one, probably not. But if you're playing the proper version where they've had all these updates and the game has progressed so far, like I'm sure you log in and it's like whatever the level cap is, they probably give you like under it, like by 5 levels. Like if it's 80, then here's your token to 75. And maybe they do that once. They do. Yeah, and maybe they do it once. So then when you build your next character, then maybe it's $4.99 to get a level 75 token and so on and so forth. Like to me in MMOs, that kind of makes sense. But in terms of like, say like I bought God of War, and then I turned it on, and say there was some grind at the end, similar to Borderlands with God of War. And they go, well, if you want to jump straight to the end game, we'll give you this gear that is, just mediocre, but enough to survive. And we'll just level you up to max, and then we'll send you to the end of the campaign. I'd be fucking furious.
I agree. And I don't know if you heard, Destiny is kind of doing a thing like that. So with that new light, they bumped everyone up to 750.
Yeah.
But they also released a token that if you pay $19.99, it'll take you up to light level 900, which is the soft cap.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
So, and don't get me wrong, like you said, MMOs have done that before, and that's what they do. But still, that's kind of like if you buy Destiny, part of the fun of Destiny was going through the content. I mean, the content's fun.
Yeah, no, the build-up was fun.
It was fun while you were leveled for it. It's not necessarily as fun when you're level 900 and go back and start over, start in the beginning zones.
Yeah,
but that's the state of gaming as we see it now. So I don't see it changing.
No, the transactions are going nowhere. They're only going to continue to get worse. As long as console gaming doesn't get as bad as mobile gaming, we're fine. When that happens, and like advertisements are in my fucking PlayStation games, and so I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen ads in PlayStation games.
I am too.
Like on some of these like free indie games or some of these like smaller like one-off titles, like I'm honestly surprised like you don't turn it on, it plays an advertisement, you close the advertisement, you play a few rounds of your game, you get another advertisement.
At that point I would be done.
Oh, I uninstall games like that off my phone instantly because it's like I'm not dealing with this. Like I'm catching a rhythm in whatever I'm playing. Like I'm doing fucking Sudokus or something and I get 6 numbers in and then it's like, time for an advertisement. Nope, you're done. I'm not finishing this puzzle, and I'm uninstalling your shit.
Yep, I agree. And the thing is that I don't see that being too far off. Maybe not with AAA titles, because you're paying such a high premium for them. But for the indie titles, like you said, I could see that happening in a month, right now.
Yeah.
Let's just hope it doesn't go there. Luckily, when you see paid subscriptions, paid stuff in all other media, there's not ads. Like, paid Spotify's ad-free, like... paid Hulu is ad-free. So usually when you pay for something, you don't get ads. And let's hope that sticks here in the gaming industry.
Yep, or they just figure out how to do it the right way. It's like Rocket League has it figured out because like you're in a stadium. All they have to do is decorate the stadium in your shit. And boom. You got advertising that's like... It's not all up in your face. It's not bothersome. It's just literally like, here it is. Stranger Things.
Go watch it.
Exactly. Like that's all the ploy is on this new event. It's Stranger Things. So like they made a map and they fucking have some verbiage on there. Like it's not bad, but yeah, if it ever gets to that, I'm gonna be highly disgusted.
Me too. We're on the same page there, and I'm sure a lot of people are with us too. So.
Jeremy would rage.
Oh yeah, he'd be out. He'd be out immediately. He'd go back to playing a Super Nintendo on a tube TV.
Yep.
Let's talk about Fortnite. Speaking of walking advertisements.
Fucking Fortnite.
So, let me tell you, first off, Epic just did some of the best PR for their own game that I've ever seen in my entire life. But
bro, they went hard.
They did. So, for the people who don't know, they had this in-game event where this black hole was opening up. And the people who were in the game started getting sucked into this black hole, right? And the entire world and everyone in it got sucked into this black hole. The game was offline for like 2 days. Because of this black hole. And people were talking about it nonstop. It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they deleted every tweet off their Twitter. and
So
just
cool.
left the stream to the black hole there.
Yeah, when you cut the game on, it was just a black hole. Nothing, no menu or anything. And if you enter the Konami code, you could play...
Like a
What was
knockoff Galaga.
yeah, like a Galaga, yeah.
Yeah, so that was just amazing. The event looked super cool. I watched it. A lot of people were... I mean, the media finds fuel in places, and it kind of pissed me off when I was on Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter much, but I was on Twitter, and I was reading up, and like people were like, 4-point-something million were watching on Twitch, and 34 were watching on Mixer.
Come on.
And that was just because, like, Ninja wasn't streaming. So, like, they, like, find all these things to, like, pit each other against, like, all these things. Like, just relax, media, please. Please relax.
Ninja looks and acts so much more happy where he's at now than he did when he was at Twitch.
Yeah, so it's easily, like, his best move. Fortnite made their best move by creating a new map. I kind of want to play it just to see what it's like, but I know that I'm still not good at that game.
Well,
So I'm not sure if I even want to jump into it.
now they're calling it Fortnite 2. I mean, so some of the stuff they added though was like bots are in the game now, and my buddy at work played it, and he said it feels totally new. He said it feels like it handles better, the map is better. So he says it feels like a new game, a new-ish game,
Interesting.
and there's some new stuff.
Did they give the Save the World? Did they add that as free like they promised?
I think so. That's the article I read they plan to, but I'm not sure if that's exactly what they did or not.
Let's see.
Going down the Google rabbit hole, are we?
Yeah.
But I think it's cool they added bots to try to, and they did it to try to ease people into the game. That, you know, like make it a lower barrier to entry. Will it help overall? Maybe a little, but I don't think much because we all know that playing bots in any game is way different than playing.
Yeah, playing
people
real
online.
people with the actual, like, twitch motor reflexes. Like, I'm not sure that bots. I don't know that they could. I mean, I'm sure they can create a bot that is like equivalent to some of the top players, but like I wouldn't want to go against them because you know their aim is going to be perfect. Like at least with a human, like I have the chance of you muffing and missing me, but highly unlikely with professional players. But the mistake factor is there, and if you miss, then I have an opportunity, and I mean my chances of missing you back is much higher. So I still may lose, but at least I know I have a chance instead of overpowered bot that can just spin around, fucking blast me halfway across the map and just be done with me.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When you play someone, even a pro, there's still a human element on both sides. So on any given time, either one of you could technically win.
Yeah. Oh, I just got completely flustered thinking about because in Fortnite, like people hit some long fucking shots. Imagine just getting sniped by a bot. Like, just running across the map, and all of a sudden you got capped right in the back of the head.
Giving me bad flashbacks of my Battlefield days.
Yeah, 400-yard shot just clapped.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
That would suck. It does suck. A different game, but I
That,
felt
put a
it
pit in my
hurts.
stomach. I wasn't ready for that.
There's a hole in your stomach.
Yeah.
Sometimes in, Battlefield, they would hit, 800-meter shots, and, sometimes you're, halfway across the map, and you're like, how did you clap me running?
Yeah, how did I end up in this spot?
What did I do to deserve this?
And then you get the replay. You did a 720, 360 no scope.
Yeah, he teabagged a rock before shooting.
Yeah, and then the bullet went in between two branches and then just hit you right in the ear.
Van Gogh'd. That's what we should start calling it. You got Van Gogh'd.
It's pretty good.
Oh God.
I'm going for ear shots only at this point.
I wonder if they could do an earshot in Sniper Elite 4.
You'll have to
Never
report
tried.
back.
Did you find that Google rabbit hole you were looking for?
It says the first video that I saw that came up. It says new Fortnite Save the World finally free. So I'm not entirely sure.
Well, we're not totally sure, but it sounds like they gave it for free.
I'll just
maybe-
download the game
Maybe if our listeners are
because
out
I
there
wanted
and
to
they
play
hear this,
that.
it's at least worth trying out. Maybe once.
Yeah, no, I think I still have it downloaded, so maybe I'll just download it and see.
I feel like I get anxiety even just thinking about Fortnite at this point.
Yeah. Oh no, it's
Like Apex is a much easier entry.
Yeah, it's easier to get into, but it's probably, I mean, it's just as hard to.
I agree. Hard, just hard to master.
Yep, I mean, they're definitely hard. Yeah, I don't believe it's free. When you go to epicgames.com/Fortnite and you go to the Save the World stuff, they're still talking about the standard edition and the deluxe edition, and it appears that they're still $19.99 and $29.99. So I'm not sure. I'm just going to download the game. I'll report back.
We'll report back next week. Be on the listen. And if you know, let us know.
Yeah, just hit me in the comments. Let me know. Save me some time and some bandwidth.
Everybody's got unlimited bandwidth, Jeremy.
Yes.
All right, let's end this game. Good lord.
Yeah, let's end this game. Game over.
Let's end this podcast real quick on the one and only Call of Duty, which has a lot of buzz around it. They're calling this the best Call of Duty in a long, long time.
Okay, so with them saying that, what does that do to Cam Hype Train?
I'm
not going to drop your last name. Just let me know.
I haven't. I don't think I'm going to get it. But the other day I was in getting coffee at work, and one of the guys there he's a big nerd. He actually does a podcast as well. He said I played 2 games of the beta and pre-ordered it. I was like, this is it. So people are saying that.
That's so scary.
And like, this is a guy who doesn't really play shoot. I mean, he plays all different stuff. Like one of his favorite games is Stardew Valley.
Oh.
And he said I played 2 games of the beta and I pre-ordered.
I feel like I need to get my hands on it first, or at least see a review. But I mean, I could go for a good Call of Duty game. I am not gonna lie.
I could too. And what they're doing is they're kind of like we've said in the past. They're sticking it to Battlefield. They're doing big maps. Everybody that I know personally who've played these betas has said that it feels like an entirely different game.
Wow.
So, that being said, that's about 3 or 4 people at work who have played the beta who have all said that, basically the same thing. I unfortunately missed out on all the betas, either due to being on vacation or I forget the first reason. But either way, I missed out. I haven't played it yet, but I hear a lot about it. It's launching on the 22nd of October. When you hear this, you can go preload this to your system right now. So when it drops, which should be 12 a.m., you could play it, if that's still how it works. I think that's still how it works.
Yeah, probably.
So if you're listening to this, go preload Call of Duty. And let us know how it is, please, because we might play it.
Yeah, like like a lot of people are like, are you getting it? Are you getting it? Are you getting it? And I'm like, Call of Duty's burned me a few times. I usually wait. But if it's going to compete with the likes of like Black Ops 2, because that was my favorite, I might be in there.
Might do it. Might do it.
Might just pull the trigger.
That's all the news I got. You got anything left, Carm?
No, I think that's it. I mean, it's like we're kind of in the dog days of news at this point, just waiting for things. I'm hoping that it picks up in November.
It's a lull, and then it'll start picking up closer to Christmas. And Black Friday.
Oh, yeah, no. There'll be plenty of news there, and then it's going to be a mad dash to holiday 2020 for next gen. So tell us what you're excited about in the comments below. Let us know what you're playing, what you think of all this gaming news, and what you think we can do better here at the Hella Average Gamescast. And I think we've covered it.
Perfect. Well, get us out of here then.
All right. Like always, play on and stay hella
average.